Alright, this is Big Boss from FOXHOUND WOODSBALL coming to you from Fort Lauderdale, and for my blog page at Outer Heaven Paintball. Now, this video is going to be a special one as I do a one-on-one interview with a teammate, a brother. Oh, I knew this guy my entire life. We grew up together, been through high school together, JROTC, all that shit. And if you've been reading the blog page, I recently posted his initial interview before Basic. Ladies and gentlemen, James Guy. Alright, Jimmy, now, you did 4 years in the U.S. Army.
5.
5 years?
5 years.
And you were MOS, that was Military Police Corps.
Yes.
For those of us who aren't familiar with military, explain the duties of a military police officer, either stateside or in forward areas.
Military police officer, just like the way it sounds, is a police officer for the military. We are on base, either stateside or countryside, and we did everything that regular law enforcement officers do here. When you're deployed, you do the same thing as there as well. You check gates, you check IDs, you make sure that the area around you is secure. When you're on base, you just basically go around patrolling, go to house calls with domestics, go to house calls with gunfire, there's a lot of noise. Basically, a normal thing that like a regular sheriff's officer would do.
Oh. And what about when deployed to forward operating areas or anything like that?
You would maintain front gates.
Okay.
You would assist in whoever you're detached down to. You would go on their missions. You would do what they do. You would go to calls as well. You know, because you would not think domestics happen out there, but they do.
Whoa.
Between somebody that just met a girl and now they with each other, yeah, you would get calls like that.
Ooh. Okay, now basic training. I know you looked at it before, prior to your enlistment, but what was it like when the first time you got to Fort Leonard Wood?
I loved it.
Anything in particular?
The discipline, the mental stage you had to be in when you're in there, the friends you made the whole way through. I got people I still talk to. In my eyes, I was able to handle it from day one. You just have to shut your mouth and listen and pay attention. But you know, it depends on how you think about it when you go in. If you can handle somebody in your face yelling at you, then you're fine. If you're a guy that has a short fuse like your brother does, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I think we've all seen that one.
Plenty of times.
Oh yeah. Okay, now, anything fun from basic, like the weapons training, the obstacle courses, or anything like that?
The team buildings were by far the best. It's when you had to go do the confidence course and you had to have all your people around you, and somebody short like myself that's only 5'9", and I had to get over a lift at 6 foot. Yeah, people grab you from the belts, lift you up, give you atomic wedgies. The constant being with them day to day, and always being around them, telling stories, sharing special goodies that you get that you only have 30 seconds to take care of.
Yeah. Anything that made you like a little antsy as far as training goes, like anything like that from gas chamber or anything around those areas?
Well, first off, the gas chamber sucked. The thing that really got me basically wanted to learn more is when you do your operations. They have a whole village set up as an Afghan city, and they have people that are literally paid to grow out their beards and to walk around and simulate that they're Afghan people. And you have to deal with them. You have to go through your procedures, like how to clear buildings, how to maneuver in the streets, how to spot IEDs. Yeah, that basically right there is like, it opens your mind up more than anything else did.
Wow. Now, MP training. You pretty much had the entire training that every law enforcement officer gets. You've been maced, you've been tasered. How was all that going through as far as...
Taser me every day. Don't fucking pepper spray me again. The pepper spray was like Satan pissing on your forehead. And the taser, my buddy actually, he was doing a taser class. He was instructing it, and he hit me with the prompts. And as soon as he hit me, what he did was he wanted to demonstrate what happens when the prongs are still inside the body and you end up getting tased. So he dry stunned me right underneath the ass.
Ooh.
And then it went from there to one prong to the next prong, and I had the full body effect. Then we got to do daisy chain where you're hooking on the people. But yeah, the taser part was fun. You got to shoot it. The pepper spray part, you got hit before you got to do everything else. So you really couldn't see nothing. A lot of people were sitting there crying. A lot of people couldn't breathe. If you had acne, it broke out bad.
Ooh. And that's one reason to avoid the pepper spray at all costs.
Pepper spray lasted for 4 days.
Ooh.
But and then because they're oil based, so they lasted for 4 days. But when it came to getting tased, that only lasted for 10 seconds and you were done.
Now, aside from the whole paintball stuff, you've also been pretty active in sports your entire life.
Yep. I am right now. I'm a high school football coach for a high school down in Coral Springs, Florida. It's called Taravella High, and Broward County actually selected me to be an all-star coach for the North and South Broward County North and South All-Star game, which is going on now.
Wow. Pretty good feat. And you've also played football while you were up at Fort Drum, right?
I played semi-pro football while in the Army for the Watertown Red and Black football team.
Okay, now, how's it going from being a player to being a coach?
I've been coaching for 11 years now. I've been coaching every single sport you can know out there, between helping out with rugby to helping out lacrosse, doing ice hockey, roller hockey, baseball, softball, basketball, football. I coached it all. I've been doing football, let alone by itself, for 11 years. It's just what I've learned doing any other positions or doing what I know now, just teaching it to young kids these days. That's it.
Right. If you had a chance to go back onto the football field playing, would you take that in a heartbeat?
Right now in my life, I would have to sit down and think about it because of the injuries I sustained for being in the military. I would have to think about it. But right now, my main goal is to continue coaching high school and then moving my way up to the ranks to go to college, coach over there, and the long shot goal will be to coach in the NFL. But I know that's going to be a hard one. So my next dream is to coach in college level.
And knowing you, man, I know you'll be able to pull it off come hell or high water.
I'm trying to.
Okay, now, as far as like what you've seen when you got home, how was that like coming home after discharge?
The first couple months were hard. I had recurrence in dreams of actually being in. I've had, like actual ones where I'm looking around and I see everything around me. I see all my friends, hear all the conversations. And then, I had trouble sleeping. I had trouble, being able to, basically like be myself. On the 4th of July, I slept like a baby because of all the fireworks that was going off.
Right.
Little noises was waking me up, but as actually being out now, and having time to recuperate, it's all died down. I'm able to, relax more. I'm able to, basically be myself again.
Right.
And that's why I got back into coaching the kids.
How would you say your time in the Army made you better at being a coach, being a leader?
Oh, you just said it right there. It teaches you how to be a leader. Because when I first got to my very first station, they had me basically learn under somebody, and then within 6 months of being there, we got deployed, and then as soon as we got back, I was in charge.
Right.
And then I went to my next station. As soon as I got over there, in charge again, and in charge again. It made me, become the leader that I wasn't before I went in.
So you learned a lot throughout your life, either coaching, leading a MP detachment. You've pretty much seen the world. You've been to Korea. You've
Been to Germany, been to Missouri, New York, Afghanistan.
Yes. Speaking of Germany and South Korea, which one was the favorite?
It's gonna be South Korea because I missed Oktoberfest by a week in Germany. If I would have made it to Oktoberfest, it would have been Germany. But I'm gonna have to say Korea.
What made South Korea stand out for you as far as what you did over there?
The location I was at, I was in Seoul, South Korea. And anybody that knows Seoul, that's in the heart of South Korea. It's a big city, which is right near the beach. So like I said, it made me feel at home because we're right near the beach.
Russ, Florida boys.
The nightlife, is just all the same as being home. So that by far.
So being a Florida boy in the middle of Seoul, it was like a little piece of home, basically.
Yes.
Now, what were your duties as far as your deployment to South Korea anyway? Working with...
Just a cop. Working with the Korean Army, the Korean military, South Korean military, not Kim Jong-lee's, but working with South Korean military, same thing we do here, patrolling. Because when we are going to calls and we don't know what they're saying, we got the people right here to talk to them.
So you're pretty much teaching the rock guys...
We're teaching them what U.S. military does, and they're basically teaching us what the Korean military do there.
Which usually a pretty kick-ass way to do shit.
Yeah.
Now, with the whole paintball thing, how do you get involved in that as far as that goes?
It was my second sister's birthday. We went to a paintball field, I don't know the name anymore, up in West Palm. She wanted to try it. We started doing it, started playing it, and then after that the whole family got into it. That's my two sisters got into it, my dad got into it, my mom was the one sitting on the side laughing at everybody getting shot.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of like dumbass kids that would do stupid shit. From your experiences coaching and everything, anything that you could say as far as like helping the new generation of players getting into the sport?
Yeah. Don't rush into the fight. Get behind something, lay down fire, stay hidden. You don't want to run straight to where the shots are coming from, or try to get advantage on them when you could still have the protection that you need to be able to pinpoint people.
Right. But with all the paintball stuff going on, I'm sure you've probably looked at what's going on as far as like the first strike debate, and Pittman recently came out with the new TCM marker. It looks exactly like a kind of carbine that you used as far as your training and everything like that. You haven't seen it yet, have you?
No. And I am not a Tippmann fan. I'm sorry, whoever Tippmann fan is, I'm not a Tippmann fan. I just hate the fact that they have a gun that, you gotta buy more parts to fix up yourself. To however now you want it. When you bought a gun for $300 and you spend more money into it, now you got a $2,000 gun that could just go out like that. dislike Tippmann. I will not use Tippmann. I have only used it one time in my life.
Okay, that'll probably be a debate for another time. And what marker have you been using, like the primary? Or...
I haven't used any lately because I haven't been able to get out and play, being the whole coaching time going on. But basically, there's a speedball gun inside the house that I use. I think it's a Inver Mini.
Huh.
Haven't used it in a while. It's just sitting inside me.
Believe me, man, I know the feeling. How, when you used the invert, how good did it feel in your hands, like ergonomics, or how it handled, and how does it fit your style and everything?
At first, when I first started using it, it was good because I was doing a whole bunch of speedball. Then to doing the woods, you know, I was able to shoot and move. But you know, coming up now, if I was to play, I'd have to get used to it again. Because seeing how to move now from what I learned to now, because you know they don't shoot straight. Bullets shoot straight. Paintball markers don't.
Okay, so we're talking like the learning curve with it.
What do you mean?
From how you first used it, then you moved when you started learning on the M4, the M16s, the saws, and coming back into it, it's going to have a sense of familiarity, yet you're going to have to adjust your skills
You would have to adjust the skills because when you're shooting a weapon, you got to look down the sight. You got to look down the pinpointer. Here with this now, what do you have on top? You got a big ass hopper that you put all your paintballs at. So now you're gonna have to try to figure out, okay, like what's gonna be different about it? Am I gonna have the gun all to the side? Am I gonna have it tilted? How am I gonna adjust it? That's what the refamiliarization is gonna be before shooting an actual military weapon to shooting this.
So it's basically readjusting
Yeah.
back to it.
Readjusting to what works in your style. Because I've seen people that are shooting sideways like this with the weapon right here and having no vision looking down the chamber, but they can hit it. They can hit a deer a mile away. I've seen people tilt it at a 45 degree like this, which I used to do. I used to tilt it right here, so that way the hopper's off to the side, and I'm actually having some kind of look down the barrel right here. But what it is it all depends on how people do it. From sideways, hip shoot, shoulders, like I said.
Right. Now, as far as like the speedball stuff, since you've got the most experience in that, you played center, you played sides, rear.
I played the side where the snake's at.
So you're the low crawl guys.
It's always been a low crawl type. Basically, low crawl down, and I actually was able to get behind the bunker, and has a gun sitting off to the side, like if you were basically pinned down behind a tree.
Right.
You're off to the side, and you could pinpoint the people coming down.
Ah.
And then when you see it all clear, what do? You ain't gonna get up and run to the next section. You're just gonna crawl. And when you crawl, you still have that gun sitting off to the side. You put the tank right here on your shoulder, and you move your left arm like this, with your right arm still right here aiming down. So when you see somebody, you can still be able to shoot.
Ah. And because you know me, I've played woods my entire life. I've played Milsim and all that stuff. Recently got into MagFed, so it's kind of an eye opener from a perspective of a woods player trying to understand the speedball player.
Yeah. Because then when you got people that play speedball, and when they play actually woods, they want to run the whole fucking course, and you could just spot them out right then and there. That's why I say it takes your skills. It takes your skills to be able to adjust to it.
Right. Now, would you say that you were willing to go back onto a speedball field or a woods field as far as looking back on everything now?
I would mostly do woods because you can take a big guy, and no matter how much they weigh, and if you teach them right, like the Army did for me, on how to actually walk through a woods without making noise. How you gonna stop them?
Fair argument.
There ain't no debating on that.
Oh yeah, and from everything we've been, we pretty much came up together more ways than once, and we're both pretty much similar mindsets. And you've pretty much gotten more into tattooing and everything as of late.
Oh man, tattoos. You were the only one still with one.
Yeah, I'm still saving up for another one. You recently showed me a picture of a new tattoo that you got.
Mm-hmm.
Could you show it and explain everything about that one? Let's get this camera in right here.
This is basically my actual uniform. I gave it to my tattoo artist, and he actually drew it out. And what I wanted was it to rip through my skin. I did it for 5 years, so that was all I knew at the time. So he took the design of the uniform and coming through the skin, and that's how he got it like that.
Now, that's the story behind it.
That's the story behind it.
Symbolism that you're still proudful for your
Well,
service.
once you're a military member, you're always going to be a military member. You're always going to have that veteran status.
Now, you've interacted with other vets and everything, coming home and everything. How do you say this from when our fathers, our grandfathers were in, to our generation that have been there, done that?
Well, my father, my grandfather, none of them was in the military. I'm a first gen military. But I actually have more sympathy for the people that used to be in. They actually had it more rough than we do. Nowadays, military, I'm sorry, but it's easy. Nowadays, training is easy. As long as you had the mentality. Back then, they were able to beat that. They were able to beat them. They were able to get in their face and actually hit them. Now they can't. I give those people my dearest sympathy, dearest everything. The one that was in before me. But if I see anybody on the side of the road, any veterans that are homeless, that says homeless, need food, need money, I always help them out. Because even though they served 30 years before me, if they served 15 years before me, they're always going to be a battle buddy to me. They're always going to be somebody that even if they're 60 and I'm 30, they're always going to be somebody I can say I served with because we did military. We took that less than 1% pledge to put our life on the line, to have that blank check that was up to the amount of your life, paid to the United States government.
Right, and yeah, this is like one of those eye-opening experiences, man.
There's less than 1% of people in the United States that take that oath to protect the Constitution against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. And when you have people that are homeless, that can't fend for themselves, if I have a dollar and change, and that's all I have on me, guess what? I'm gonna give it to them. If I just go to McDonald's and I got food right next to me, I don't need it. I can always eat somewhere else. I'm gonna give it to them. What do I need it for?
So, everything is, as far as service goes, there's still that deep sense of pride in everything.
Always is. Always is. It's what you do for so many years. You got people that only served for 1 year, but guess what? They were in it. They got injured, it's somebody you gotta look after.
Right. Damn. I'll probably say, without a shadow of a doubt, this is probably one of the best videos I've done in the longest time, man.
Just because I'm on it, huh?
That's definitely it, and hopefully this gives a new perspective to not just paintball players, but anyone who's probably looking to get into paintball or pursue military service that has something to do with their lives. Anything you want to say to kids that are considering military service?
Anybody that wants to do military service, before you go talk to anybody, think about this. If you want to go active, can I be able to stay away from my family? Can I be able to not have communication with them X amount of time? If you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, am I able to, be a part of them, be away from them? If you have kids, are you able to stay away from your kids and not communicate with them until you get to your unit, which has to bring them up? If you're from a hot state, if you're from a South Florida, if you're from a mid-Florida, if you're from California, Texas, somewhere that's hot, and you don't like the cold, think about it. Am I able to freeze my ass off and survive it? Are you able to withstand people in your face yelling at you? If kids want to play paintball, you're gonna like getting shot in the ass. And I always try something for the first time, but recruiters will talk to you like a car salesman. They'll pitch you everything. But if you actually want information about it, Google it. Always do your research before you go in. They won't tell you your job until after you take the ASVAB, but Google search like how basic is. Google search something called a shark attack, which is your day one of your basic unit. It's where you're getting off the bus and everybody's going off on you. See how that is. But make sure that that's something that you can handle, is being away from people, not being able to talk to them before that's something you do.
Right. Alright, brother. I think we've done good 27 minutes.
Damn. How much 27 minutes did I dip?
Yeah, I went 27 minutes without smoke either, so. Oh. One thing, bad habits. What kind of bad habits from being what we were in high school to being now?
Oh shit, I plead the fifth. I am not saying any bad habits you pick up on the military. So you can go ahead and stricken that from the record. Don't listen to this guy, guys.
Yeah, I know. Fifth Amendment, self-incrimination.
I plead the fifth.
But
I'll repeat that over and over again.
damn. Video I know is gonna be pretty good. Can't wait to have the written portion. And for all you guys that are watching, you could check out the written version of this stuff at outerheavenpaintball.blogspot.com. A link will be posted in the description to this video, and this video will be on the blog page for that interview. Alright, brother.
Go Cowboys.